Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. You've probably heard about Me Too. Let's talk about that.
I'm Afua Daines. Is your eyesight getting a bit blurry? We will talk about that.
And I'm Stacey Beck. There's a new athletic center in town. We will find out more.
We will also look at the alarming issue of suicide in our area. All this and more coming right up on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. How's everyone doing?
Fantastic.
I love Spanish Fort.
Oh my goodness.
Spanish Fort too.
Do you guys
Yes.
kind of feel like we live in a new town?
It is.
It's
suddenly?
amazing.
Yeah.
And
All
it's
these
even
buildings.
better because we're
All the
into the
stores.
holiday season.
Oh, it's going to be so fun.
We get to
Yeah.
shop.
So the new Walmart, I live up on the east side of town, and at first I thought, well, I'll just run there for like milk or a can of soup when I'm out.
Yeah.
So the ribbon cutting, I think everyone was so shocked at how big this neighborhood Walmart is.
Oh,
It's just
really?
off Highway 6 on 2550 East, so kind of on the same street as Maple Mountain High School, but on the south side. Anyways, it's a big store.
Is it?
It's going to be super convenient, I think, for everyone who lives up on the east end of town. So,
Wow.
And then Canyon Creek.
Oh,
Guys, I have my new
fantastic.
shoes from Marissa's TJ Maxx.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh! Like
Going to have
it's
some
just going to
problems.
be. Oh, and then just right around the corner, Olive Garden. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Yes,
Famous
just
footwear.
Going to be doing the whole
Yes.
circular.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we have. So, did you receive the coupon, the Walmart coupon? So you get your 4 freebies.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, so you get
It
to
just
go and
came
do
today, I
your.
think.
Oh, okay.
So you get to
I'm
go and do your 4 freebies in November. I think it's good for what, like a dozen of eggs, a coffee,
free drink,
yeah,
free soda.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, and whatever. So that could be fun. So you have to
That's
go take
true.
advantage of that.
I
And
certainly
then by request, Emily, she said, so I've not really ever been like a TJ Maxx person, and I'm like, oh my gosh, let me just tell you about TJ Maxx. I am a super TJ Maxx freak. So the imported food. I think you said this too. You're like, really, the food?
Yeah, I've never bought
Yes.
their food.
So the imported
European
pasta, the pasta sauce, some of the
Jams, they have jams and crackers.
and the candies. That's some of my favorites.
Biscottis they have in there too. I
So
love
if you've
them.
never purchased imported
The food.
food
Yeah, it's
before,
really good.
yeah, it's a really good find.
Okay.
Love the handbag section, and of course the shoes are
Yeah.
Okay.
to die for.
Yeah.
If you're not really a pajama person, I love pajamas, so those are always super fun. And if you need a dress, they have really great
And you didn't even hit on one of my top two
and
things.
housewares.
Housewares.
Yes.
Yeah.
Frames for sure
Yes.
is where I get frames and home
I love
decor.
pictures. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Blankets.
Yeah.
Oh.
And for kids too. I really love doing
Yes.
stuff like the pajamas for my kids, my boys, and they have books that are
Yes,
discounted.
good.
Yeah,
Oh,
really good
athletic
books.
wear.
Yes.
Also, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But you're right.
it's-
Can you go wrong?
No, you really can't go
If
wrong.
you
So
don't shop at
super
TJ Maxx,
excited
yeah,
about
that's
TJ
right.
Maxx. It's going to be super fun. Oh, and then I just wanted to mention one more thing. You know that I've been dying to try an Instant Pop.
Yes.
Forever. So I wanted to try before I actually bought one. So I borrowed one from my
Okay.
friend. Okay, I'm so buying one.
Really?
That's going to be my Christmas present to
What's the
myself.
difference between an Instant Pot and a crock pot?
So a crock pot is all day.
All day.
Like you let it cook
Yeah.
all day, 6, 8, 10
Yeah.
hours.
I
You know,
like
you put in the roast and let it
Right,
cook
yeah.
and cook and cook and cook and cook.
Absolutely.
Okay, 10 minutes,
Oh.
start to finish. Not kidding. Like it's a pressure cooker. Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
so I threw in the chicken, the rice, the broccoli, the cheese, and the broth. Not kidding you. I was making ranch dressing on the side. Dinner was done before my dressing.
No way.
you're
I'm not
serious.
kidding you.
So does it plug in
It
like
plugs
a
in,
crock pot
yes,
would
and then,
or whatever?
And then by the time I was depressurizing,
Yeah.
dinner was done.
Okay, so have your
Wow.
meat thawed,
yeah,
ready to go.
Yep.
Oh my gosh,
Not
I
bad.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
So you totally knew when. So I'm
fun.
all about the Instant Pot. We're getting the queue. Going to be a fabulous show. Yes.
Yes,
There you go.
fantastic.
Coming up next, having a hard time seeing things clearly. Stick around for some help. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Are things getting a bit blurry for you these days? Let's welcome Dr. David Jones of Advanced Family Eye Care to the table. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, Dr. Jones.
It's good to be here.
It's good to have you. We have a lot of good questions.
Oh, I'm excited then.
Let's start with when you're in your 40s. Why are we noticing changes all of a sudden?
You know, when you get to your 40s, you lose the ability to focus your eyes. So your whole life, you've been able to do this really easily, go from distance to near, and it just hasn't been a problem.
Right.
But when you get to 40, the ability to focus starts to slowly go away.
Why? Is there a reason for that?
It can get complex. It has to do with the lens inside the eye and some mechanical forces that allow it to change its shape. And so it's probably a little too deep for here, but it happens.
Okay. Anything to change that?
Yeah.
Eat more carrots?
Doesn't help. No.
It's too late.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen to every one of us. I thought I was going to be immune, and it happened to me. So if I'm not immune, nobody gets to be immune.
Okay.
So no, but there is technology coming that is going to greatly change this. And some of it's available now, and some of it's just becoming available.
Tell us more.
Well, there's several different ways of going about it.
Okay.
Everything from an implant they put in the front part of your eye that just allows you to have better distance and near vision and can kind of solve that problem, which I'm considering having right now, to actually taking away that lens that's lost its ability to change and replacing it with a new one that gives you distance and near now.
Wow.
And
So if you're replacing
that's working
it with
really well.
a new one, is it like a cadaver lens?
It's not. It's actually a plastic lens. So it's very similar to cataract surgery. So they're basically doing cataract surgery before you need cataract surgery and replacing it with a new lens that has really cool technology. It's called extended depth of focus technology, which allows you to have distance and near. And I've been seeing a few of these patients now, and they are doing really well. This is the one I'm most excited
who
about.
have had it?
Yes, who have had it, yeah.
And will you be doing that?
I don't do the surgery. I don't do surgery, no. But I work with surgeons who do.
Wow.
But it's been really successful. It's been working really well, and so that's exciting. It's out there. There's other techniques that aren't as invasive. That one that I'm looking at isn't as invasive, and it's been working very well for patients as well.
So, what's the advantage to seeing an optometrist such as yourself to maybe get a decent pair of reading glasses with instead of picking up, the readers at the dollar store or Target or wherever?
Yeah. Well, it depends on the person, really. For some people, that's an okay option. Now, my biggest issue is you need to get in and have your eyes looked at for health reasons. We find not only vision problems, but health problems by having an eye exam. When we're looking in your eye, we can see things that tell us about the health of your whole body. And so, really, what's the reason to come and see me? It's not necessarily to get glasses. It's to make sure the health is good, not of just your eyes, of your whole body, and to make sure everything's going well that way. Now, for most people, however, we can prescribe exactly what you need for reading glasses. You tell me what you need. Is it the computer that's blurry for you, or do you have a special task you're trying to do? And I will custom design something just for that, and for each eye individually as well. So for most people, there's benefits to having a custom pair done. But for some people, a pair of readers works just fine, but we can tell you that, plus look at the health.
So another reason I was interested in inviting you to the show was I had my 6-year-old daughter in, and she was having some trouble seeing things, and you were able to prescribe some corrective lenses for her. So how do you tell her? What are the advantages for, a 6-year-old compared to a 40-year-old? Or, how do genetics play into this?
Well, genetics play a role, but they don't tell us everything.
Okay.
So what we really need to do is take a look at kids. For me, one of the most important things I think people can do is get their kids in to be looked at, because kids don't know how they're seeing. The world's been always how it is. If it's been blurry, they don't know it's blurry. And there's other things we need to look for as well. And one of the really things that we're really big in my office is making sure people are looked at so they can know. Vision impacts learning. Vision impacts how you perceive the world. And so you really need to get those kids in and get them looked at. At my office, we're part of what's called infancy. So we will see kids starting at 6 months old.
Oh, wow.
That young.
Really?
And we do those for free. Between 6 months and a year, we do them for free because we want to find problems early. One of the most frustrating things I find as an optometrist is when I get a kid in who's 11 and 12, and now they're having vision problems, and we look at it, and it's something we need to fix when they were 3, 4, 5. And we can't do anything about it now. And that's very frustrating for me. And so we want to make sure kids are seen early. We want to make sure that they're, ready to learn, ready to attack the world. And so it's important to get those kids in early. We like to see them, like I said, between 6 months and a year, at 3 years old, then before kindergarten, just to make sure that they're ready to go.
And I'm always curious, when a child or a toddler or an infant even when you're giving them a test and they're unable to read or identify some, how are you able to see or help them understand what they are seeing, or how do you do that?
It's funny. One of the oldest skills that we have as optometrists, and one that's not really used that much by a lot of optometrists anymore, is the ability to just look at an eye and focus it yourself by shining a light in the eye, seeing the light on the back of the eye, and focusing that. It's something I do on just about every patient because I want to keep that skill, because that's how I figure out how a 6-month-old needs glasses. I can look in and tell myself. Or today I had a girl in with autism, and she is totally non-communicative.
Okay.
But I can make sure she's seeing the world the best she can. So that the things that are important to her, she can see well. And that's a skill that I practice on almost every patient because I want to stay sharp at it. Because I think that's important, yeah.
Well, Dr. Jones, you're conveniently located in our
Yep,
city.
you bet.
Tell our viewers how to get a hold of you, where to find you.
Well, you can find us, our office is right by Macy's, and so you'll see it there, right there. You can certainly call us. Our website is iCare Spanish Fork. You can look on there and find information. The only other thing I want to I think the one thing that really is different about our office is our culture. And
I would agree.
Most patients who ever come in, they just say, I didn't know eye care could be fun. We really hire people that love working with people and that make life fun. I love working there because all I hear is laughing most of the time.
You do have a great staff.
They're wonderful. They truly are. So
good for you.
Yeah. So thanks.
Yeah, and if you're a well-behaved patient, you have really great cookies
We
too.
do. Every patient gets a cookie.
Thank
Very
you, Dr.
good.
Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely.
Coming up next, there is a great big new building by the sports park. Let's find out what that is. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Recently, a new business opened up across from the sports park. Wonder what it is? Let's welcome Cameron Gunter and Ben Siniger from the Athlete Development Center. Welcome, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
It's a big building.
It's huge, yeah. Yeah.
So what's going on?
Well, we got a couple of things. It's a lot of money. That's
Yeah,
what's going
yes.
on.
Yeah, a big investment.
Yeah, it was a big investment. We have kids in sports, and we're
How many
always
kids do
finding-
you have?
I have 5 kids.
Oh, because I thought maybe you had 20. That's why
No,
you
not
built that.
20.
I mean, Anyway.
I coach 20 kids
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
or more.
All right.
So, but with my boys, my older daughters, they're out of the sports arena, and they didn't. But I've got 2 younger boys, and we're always doing sports, and always looking for spaces to practice in the winter. And we had a wild idea to build an indoor practice facility that was big enough that you could put a full diamond on for baseball, and you have a ceiling that's tall enough that you can throw a football down the field or hit a baseball, and it's great for soccer. So, and on top of that, to help drive the revenue in the facility to be able to pay for something like that, is we did do some stuff up front with some retail, which is our pro shop, which will sell retail sports type equipment.
Okay.
We'll do sports uniforms for teams. We'll be able to do that so they can be practicing there and also do their ordering right there. We'll do some secondhand or semi-used equipment, and even some discounted or some discontinued stuff from some of these sports stores. With Tyson Gunter's my brother, who's running the facility, and he was at Dick's, and he's been a buyer for a couple of sporting goods stores, and does a lot of that. So, and then we have some third-party leases. I think we have a physical therapist going in, and then we have an empty space that a sports bar would be great there.
So if any of our
Pizza joint,
viewers are
yeah.
just wanting to be an entrepreneur, they can
That's
call
right.
you and say, "Let me see this space," and they could use it.
That's right.
You'll lease
Yep.
it out.
And it's
That's
the
good
best
to know.
space. So
It's a corner office.
It is. It's cool, and
that
it
would be
really would
amazing.
be a great location for food for all the people coming and going, but also all the sports park just across the street. You would draw a lot of people.
Yeah,
Well,
we think so.
Educate us a little bit also on how it differs from a regular gym, or I mean, how would Natasha, how if I come in off the street, like what can you do for me as an individual?
Yeah, so basically, we're a performance facility.
Okay.
So that means we're not like your regular gyms where you can go in for just a boot camp or a yoga class, stuff like that. Like we are looking at every single person who walks in our door as an athlete.
Okay.
A lot of people, it gets mixed up because a lot of people think that to be an athlete you have to be playing a sport. We're taking it as everyone you meet is an athlete in the game of life, we'll say.
Okay.
So there's always something that somebody is looking to do or be able to do.
Okay.
And so we are facilitating a way for that person to accomplish whatever they want to do. Whether it is a youth athlete trying to make the varsity team, a varsity athlete trying to make it to Division I college, or just a 35-year-old who is trying to be able to keep up with her kids and pick up her
She's
kids.
not 35.
No,
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. My kids are watching. I most definitely am.
Yeah, so I mean, we want these people to be able to be treated like athletes and be able to go through these workouts and just be able to go through life at the highest capacity and not be slowed down by life's deterrents.
Okay.
So, so what would you set me up with, like a personal trainer, or so how do you facilitate me that way though?
Right. So we have different classes throughout the day, Monday through Saturday. Or in the mornings and afternoons, we have our general population classes where people can sign up for either a level 1 or a level 2, basically. So what that is just you can come in 4 days a week and you have a structured program that is written for you.
Okay.
Like I said, you can either do 4 days a week or 2 days a week, whatever matches your schedule. And this basically goes on a schedule kind of looking at how you live your life throughout a 1 year period.
Okay.
So when you think about it, throughout the winter, your main goal is to look good for spring break or the upcoming nice season. So that's how I'm going to program the workouts for that.
Okay.
Then once the summer rolls around, that's kind of your in season. Okay, so that's where you're out and about, you're out at the lake, you're doing this, you're doing that. So we want to be able to make sure that you can do those things at the highest level you can. Once we get into the fall, like we're in right now, obviously we have the holidays coming up. So then we're gonna make sure that you're staying active and doing all that you need to do while you're eating as you should throughout the holidays and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely look at the different classes that we offer throughout the week. That's from youth all the way to general population, elite athletes, college athletes, everything.
Wow. Well, it's super exciting. I mean, obviously, I've not had a chance to visit yet. We know that you're open now, but
It's huge. That field is so amazing
So
to
the
just
size
walk
of the
through.
field is, it's 100 feet wide by 200 feet long. With the field size of a soccer field, if you use how we have the lines on the soccer field, it's 85 feet by 190. We can do 2 full diamonds.
Okay.
Only one of them is marked out, so you can move the bases to 60-foot bases to 70, 80, and 90-foot diamond or 90-foot base at the distance between base at 90 foot is a full diamond. So it allow the high school kids and really to get that full opportunity to be inside and be practicing through the
cold
winter
weather.
months and cold months.
And
so
batting cages.
there'll be batting cages. We'll have 3 on each side.
Okay.
The facility will be able to be split into 2. So you can have both soccer kids and lacrosse, anybody, they can have that 100 by 100 space.
So coaches are the ones that would be probably the ones to reach out to the facility and just schedule the time and how many times they want to come during those cold months.
That's right. And the youth, and not just the youth, but anybody, the idea would be is the ones that are doing the athletic performance in there, is to be able to use the facilities through Ben to get better.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
we want to create that
Yeah.
Right.
opportunity for athletes to improve themselves and the speed and agility, which, you know, there's not a lot of facilities around here.
Right.
If you go to California or any of these bigger communities, they really have that speed and agility training.
Where can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so you can either go to our website, which is athletedevelopmentcenter.com.
Center.com.
Yeah, or email me directly. Both my email and Tyson's email are on the website. You can find those, as well as you can find the different classes that I was talking about for youth and general population in high school. All that stuff can be found on the website. And
Okay, or people can just drop by.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
definitely.
Very cool.
you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Sexual assault and harassment are in the news a lot these days. Stay with us for a tough conversation. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. The simple phrase, "Me Too," has taken on a whole new meaning in the last couple of weeks. Me Too is opening the doors of a dark, secret closet. Let's talk about that.
Yes, indeed.
It's a tough one.
It is a very tough one. My friend has been just putting single, who's had this happen to them. And she had all this plethora of messages of Me Too coming on, and just people are just open. So open about it, and it's shocking, actually.
I agree. It's shocking.
I'm shocked and I'm not shocked. By that, I mean that I guess it is shocking, I think, by the number of women that you and not just women, by the number of people that are stepping forward with the hashtag Me Too, but not shocked that they are, because it's finally given them a voice or the power to say, yeah, this is happening, and it's happened for a very long time. And I don't think that this is a trend that is just going to be for the week or a couple of weeks. I think this is going to be ongoing. And
Well, I
it's
think
been ongoing.
It has, and I think social media really has helped, though, for bringing people together. Because also Bill O'Reilly with Fox News, the fact that he was kept on
Oh, unbelievable.
even after they knew,
A
and so
$32 million lawsuit.
and then they gave him a pay rise.
Yes, they did.
And so there's an uproar. People are knowing
Unbelievable.
through social
Yes.
media, and people are saying things. Because at the end, it's the people that matter. It's the people that are watching Fox. So, that's something about women and how we have to come up.
And it's not just in that power-hungry industry where women are trying to climb the ladder or be a news anchor or an actress. It's not just that. It's kids 8 years old, 5 years old that it's happening to. And I think this should empower moms and dads to have conversations with their kids. If you're ever approached,
absolutely.
please come to me. You will be threatened with the following things. And if moms and dads need to do the research of, what to say or talk to a therapist or something, but I think we need to let our kids know that no matter what, I will believe you. But also keep in mind, most likely that's going to come from a very close friend or family member. And as adults, can we handle that information? If our
Right.
child comes to us and said that happened, that's going to be some
It was
Some hard
interesting.
information.
The scouts, when you're going through bear or something, they expect you to talk to your sons or your son.
yes.
Yeah, and I thought I was so glad about that because my kids were like, "What? What's that?" kind of thing, and we sat down and had because I've got boys, but the same thing happens to them, boys and girls, and
and the shaming, I think the women that they're blamed by whoever approaches them, whether or not how far it goes. They're going to be just have that insecurity and think it's my fault.
Right. There was also it was to do with that Bill O'Reilly, and I think they were saying some of them are hesitating to come out because of the job that they have.
Right, I saw that.
And what would you do in a situation like that? If someone is doing that, I've always thought, would I just quit? I know I would, because but not before I've made sure that guy or that person.
I think it's way too hard to say what you would do because your situation,
yeah.
if you're a single woman on your
Right,
own and
yeah.
supporting yourself and you don't have a savings or parents that could help you, that would be a really tough call.
Yeah. And how do you do that? How do you raise your voice so that people know that this person is doing this to me? Is he doing it to anyone else?
Right.
You know, what would you do?
I bet these women are absolutely shocked, thinking it's happened to this many people and we've kept secret for so long.
So long. Could it have been stopped sooner?
Right.
If we'd come out. And for, like you were saying, for children, what do we do for children? How do children, how do we make sure that children realize they have a voice and it's not okay?
Right.
It's not okay for an adult to
trust the children.
That's right.
I think they need to know that they're trusted.
Absolutely.
We have to be their voice.
Absolutely.
Well, and for women also, I mean, I can't recall who it was right now, but it's never okay to say no matter what a woman is wearing that she is asking for it, because that is never okay. A boss can certainly ask you to change your clothes if it's not appropriate in the workplace, but regardless of what you're wearing, it's never, you're not ever.
It's not a ticket to say,
No,
she
right.
says,
That
come on.
is
Yeah, no.
not okay.
No, that's nonsense. If you've got a problem, the person needs to sort himself or herself out. Because it happens to men too.
Definitely.
Oh,
Happens
it
to
can
men.
happen to anyone, and I am grateful for the movement, and I do have friends that have been affected for it or by it. I've read their stories, and at least they have
They're
a voice.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, they are. But
But it's important for them to know that there's help out there and to open up and feel safe. I think if you didn't feel safe, you wouldn't open up.
so, if anything has come from the horrendous stories lately, I guess that would be it.
I think it would be really interesting for our audience to also, share with us, maybe comment or something on our website and say, if not telling us, any
just
sordid
the
details.
hashtag Me
Yeah,
Too.
that's right.
Yeah, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, and let's continue
Would love to hear that.
on. I think it would be really good for us to spread that, So, fabulous.
Coming up next, we will talk about another dark, serious struggle in our community. Stay with us. Too often we hear of a neighbor or a family member that has struggled with depression and suicidal thoughts. Let's talk about the issue and the signs. Welcome Susan Chapman and Marla Branham to the table.
Welcome to Studio Chatter. Thank you. We have a serious topic today, so thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Of course. And so this is ongoing with the, sorry, I'm at a loss for words. The
Active and Healthy Grants.
Yes, the grant that you had written previously, and it's in conjunction with that. So how does it work?
Well, first of all, does this make me a regular?
Yeah,
That's right.
You are welcome anytime.
Right. No, I should get a name tag or
We can work on
We
that.
can get you an engraved cup.
Oh, good.
You're gonna have 2 Studio Chatter mugs at your home.
Oh, good. Yes, I do. I keep my other one.
Set. There you go.
Well, this grant that was written, that I wrote with Mike Mendenhall, it has a lot of moving parts, and one aspect is suicide prevention. And so we will start in November. We will start training city employees, and this training that we are doing is called QPR training. And along with me is Marla, and she is the suicide prevention specialist from Utah County Health Department. But we'll start this training. We'll go into businesses. We'll go into faith-based organizations that we'll be working with. And this grant provides materials and it provides trainers to do this. So if you have, for our audience, if you have an organization that you would like us to come in and do this training with, it trains employees, it trains people with anyone in their sphere of influence to recognize the signs and how to deal with it. So it doesn't have to be anybody special. It can be scout leaders, it can be fathers, it can be mothers, it can be teachers, anyone, so that you can recognize and know exactly what to do. Just as CPR is something that can help somebody physically to know exactly how to help somebody who is suffering physically and get them to a professional.
Sure.
QPR is something that can help somebody mentally and rescue them in immediate danger and get them to a professional to get them to survive, if that makes sense.
So if our viewers are listening to this and they're feeling like, yes, I would love to go to that, is it a class?
Yeah, it's a workshop.
How would they now go about doing that? Who do they reach out to?
You would reach out to after November, because we're going to start this. We'll be more capable to start the training.
Okay.
So we will watch our Facebook page. If you're a member of our Active and Healthy Facebook page, we'll start posting resources.
Okay.
So not yet at this time. So but in the future, if you have a business or if you have other capacities, we're going to work with faith-based leaders.
Well, this is good marketing right now, though, to be aware that it will be there, of course.
What is going on, that this is a resource and that this is a grant that we have. But then you can reach out on the Facebook page and to me and to some of the other people. We'll post how you can do that.
Okay, and will they be like more group classes or one-on-one?
It's a group class of 30, and I should turn the time over to Marla to give a little bit more specifics on what QPR is exactly.
So QPR actually is an acronym. It stands for Question, Persuade, Refer. The idea is getting people to understand that it's important to ask the question. We don't want mental health issues to be something that you sweep under the rug, don't talk about, or anything else, because suicide is far more common than we think it is, which is, we don't want to normalize it, but we want the conversation about mental health to become a normal thing. Just like your physical health is something that you take care of, your mental health should be. So
I do want to say that it's a myth that if you talk about it, somebody will go and do it.
I was just thinking that. That's what I just heard on one of the Facebook stories. That
the research is out there that no one is going to, if you ask them if they're suicidal, that no one's going to think, oh, what a good idea.
Right.
They're either already thinking about it or it's not on their radar.
Okay.
And if it's
even
not,
among youth and adults.
it doesn't matter what the age group is.
So do you think it's increased over time?
It has.
I mean,
The suicide
growing up,
rates are
I never knew. I was saying that to my husband the other day. I didn't know anyone unless they were in a mental,
It was even common. It was common back in the
something.
day too. It just wasn't as common. It is becoming more and more common. We're facing mental health crises. There's a ton of reasons why. There is no hard and fast one. Oh, it's this. This is the reason. If we solve this problem, it's going to get fixed. That's not the case. Okay. There's so much to it of why we have the mental health issues that we do. So this program,
even with the youth, though.
even with the youth, and in fact, our youth stats here in Utah, suicide is the number one cause of death for our youth, 10 to 17.
Here in Spanish Fork or Utah
In
County?
Utah, the whole thing. We have surpassed it. Motor vehicle accidents.
I wondered if your statistics would say that.
And we don't have a pinpoint as to why this is happening.
It's a multiple
theories.
factors. There's multiple factors with it.
What, for example?
One of the common theories right now is our altitude, the lack of oxygen.
Really?
Yeah, part of it is the interaction socially, because most folks, they don't have a physical social network. It's all on the internet.
Yeah,
That's
I
where
would think
it's social
socially
media.
or
That's part of it.
cyberbullying
Bullying feeds into it. A lot of, I want to say it's like 90% of suicides are from people who have a diagnosable mental health condition. It may not be diagnosed at the time, but there are usually 5 that are the top mental health conditions that lead someone to suicide. But it doesn't mean that everybody who has that condition is going to choose suicide. Okay. There are many factors that lead into it. No one has a hard and fast why this is going to happen. But there are some clues that you can look for. There are verbal clues, whether they're direct or indirect. There's behavioral, there's situational things that you can see of these. And when you see this combination of factors coming into play, then that's when you start going, oh, red flags, I'm concerned about you. Let me talk to you and see what you do. And that's what this program teaches. It teaches you to recognize what the signs and symptoms are. Then it teaches you how to ask the question, because it's just more important that you ask someone and then ideally you persuade them to get the help that they need and then refer them to the resources that are available.
That's the question, though, is if you did not run into someone, it's obviously going to be someone you know and love.
Right.
But if you're worried, what is that step?
The biggest step is to ask them, I've noticed X, Y, and Z, or I'm concerned about you. Are you thinking about suicide? Some people are
Just
really
come
hesitant to
out
say
with
that.
it blatantly.
You can do it very subtly. I tend to be very direct. You can say, I'm concerned about you. Some people who are in this are in this situation think about taking their own lives. Are you thinking about that?
And what if they say, I've thought about it, but I'm not to that point right now? Then what's step B?
The next step would be, wow, I can, listen to them, let them, unload on you. Don't try and judge the emotion or anything else. You just want to let them know you care, that you're out there, and persuade them. If you consider it, would you be willing to talk to a professional? Because I sure am not a professional.
Right.
There are professionals who are trained to do this, but would you be willing to talk to somebody? Can we get you there?
Okay, so then my next question is a two-part question. What if their answer is yes, I'm ready to talk to someone? What's your answer to that? What if they say no, I will not go to talk to someone? What's your answer there?
Let's go with the no first. That's easier. If they say no, if you believe they are in imminent danger for themselves or for someone else, then that's worthy of a 911 call. If you believe they are in imminent danger. If they're not, and they say, no, I'm not ready to, let them know that you're there for them to listen and talk to. Okay. That they have an outlet, that somebody out there cares. If they say yes, it's getting to the right resources. If they want to do it right that second, call the National Suicide Talk Line. It's one of the best resources out there. There are resources. There is a Utah Suicide Prevention Coalition that is a lot of different people, different organizations that meet together to go over what resources we have available, because that really is the big thing, is resource issue, is how many counselors are available, what can we do and do it. But there are helplines that are available there. Utah actually created the Safe UT app for those to be able to text. To be able to text it, because a lot of people don't want to talk on the phone anymore. They'll text.
And that's another issue is some youth, they feel it's a bigger thing for them to rat on their friends than for their friends to commit suicide. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They don't want to tell an adult about their friend having suicidal thoughts, but they will text it. And so the Safe UT app is
great.
Came up to
and so a lot of principals are encouraging their youth and their students to get the Safe UT.
And it's actually available to everybody now. It was designed for K through 12, but now it's available to anybody to use. So youth, adult, doesn't matter.
It's a great resource.
If you need it, if you need an outlet, that's a real fast one, real fast.
You brought some numbers. I wanted to, if you don't mind, I'd love to hear some of the statistics. It's mind-boggling for me.
It is mind-boggling.
Small place. Utah County is not exactly huge, but
it is population-wise.
Yes,
we are.
This is true.
We are.
Well, Spanish Fork then. We talk about. Yeah.
So let me talk from the broad down to the specific. So in the U.S., the statistics are that it is 15.3 per 100,000 people suicides. Okay. You go to Utah, it's then 23.8.
Wow.
We are fifth in the nation. We're part of what is referred to as a suicide belt. And then you get to Spanish Fork, it's now 25 per 100,000. And if you include Utah County South, which is some of our more rural communities that the Active and Healthy community was working with,
grant actually covers.
it's 34.9.
How many?
34.9.
Like you're talking Nephi and places like that?
No, Nephi is not part of Utah County. We're talking Salem, Payson. I'm trying to think of all the different ones. Santa Quinn, Benjamin, all the rural communities that are.
In general, rural communities tend to have a higher suicide.
Yeah, it's the lack of resources. That's the biggest thing.
All over the country.
Yeah, it's not just specific to Utah.
I would almost think that rural would be happier because they're with nature and they're not dealing with so much hustle.
It's the resources, and it's partially a West Coast phenomenon that, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, just suck it up and deal with it, and rather than talk about it. We have. We take care of broken arms. Why can't we take care of broken minds, for lack of a better term?
Thank you for coming and sharing.
Happy to do so.
This is an interesting statistic. So, what would you think would be the highest risk group for suicide?
I know men in their 40s is one of the highest.
That is
got
the
it.
highest. You nailed it.
That is, yeah.
Most people think it's the youth, but
Really?
it's working adult males.
Midlife crisis.
Yes. Yeah.
They've wondered
lot
what
of
the
pressure.
heck have I done?
Yeah.
Our youth are at great risk, but men in their 40s and above.
Well, unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. But great information. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll look forward to more information coming in November. Thanks again. Have you been doing your reading assignment? It's time to report. We're not done yet. Stay with us. Wow, we made it again.
Yay. We did.
Yay. And how dare we forget to mention
We need
Beautiful.
our fabulous fashion
Show us your top.
from
Yeah.
Big Brat.
I love that.
Do you love it?
Yeah. What's the material anyway?
I don't. It feels like cashmere. I
Yeah,
don't know what it is,
something.
but it's super soft.
soft.
Love the keyhole fit, and the necklace is also Big Brat.
So
Very
cute.
nice.
Love.
I love it.
I've
I'm
been
going to stand
dying
up
to
with
wear.
mine
Oh,
because
okay.
I like that it's kind of
Yes, I love that
cut,
also.
yeah.
Mhm.
and then right over here
covers.
it goes low.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm more of a fitted person. and
Yes.
I kind of like the flow.
I love I'm always afraid of the mocks, but
and I
that's-
can't even feel it. But I love turtlenecks and stuff.
So do I, yeah.
love it.
So thank you, Big Brat.
I
And
love this time of year with the sweaters and cozies and.
Yeah.
yeah.
You'd already worn your jeans, right?
I did.
You've
I
been
love
wearing
my
them
jeans.
all the
That's
time.
right.
so-
Yeah. My husband really likes them. He's like,
Awesome.
ooh.
Well, this has been a very full episode,
It
but
has. Yeah.
we also need to mention and hope that you've been reading along with us A Wrinkle in Time. So I think I loved it as much again as I did when I was in 5th grade.
Oh, good. And
Yes.
you said you'd listen to it this time.
I did listen to it this time, yes. So I listened to it while on vacation, and whoever narrated it was quite
So
quite
good.
fabulous, yes. And one of the reasons that I wanted to read it and listen to it was because the movie is coming out in the spring, and the cast is fabulous. But
It's going to be fun.
I'm excited.
so I know that I loved it. I kind of knew the storyline before, but
so
I'm
did I.
curious to know what.
No, it's really good. I liked the fact. I liked their quirkiness. Do you know what I mean?
I love the quirky. I would love to hear. I would love to hear like a teenager's point of view. Really.
Right. Yeah.
Because you said your kids
My kids
didn't like it.
They didn't. I don't know if it didn't get it, and they were just reading it because they have to write a report on it, and so sometimes you know what I mean. You're just getting through it, and so that was for both of my kids said that. So
I love books, and I think this one falls into this category where it's good versus evil. Kind
Yes.
of like Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I'm trying to think of all these books that just are slipping my mind. C.S. Lewis's, you know, the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yes, I like that.
And a lot of, you know,
It's just different.
just
and
the
I
good
like
and
that.
evil.
Yeah.
Like it's just because you can relate it to your
Original
own life.
Yes. And I
I
kind
thought
of
that
like
was-
that Meg was kind of just didn't really have like just
place.
place.
Yeah.
And then kind of has to find that place and find her
right.
way and
And I'm wondering if this book is like the first introduction to kids about joy and pain. Like
Right.
they're kind of like learning about that in a book.
yes.
Like by the time we're adults, we've had so many experiences with
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was
with
thinking.
kids, it's like
I think
their
it was
feelings are
deeper
getting-
than what kids would identify with.
It is a little
you know?
deep for kids, and it's
Yeah.
almost like a dysfunctional family.
Yeah.
Right.
And even when I listened to the foreword from the author, she said that it was not like typical, but when she read it, like when she would read it to her kids as she was writing it, they begged her to continue writing
really?
it.
Yeah,
So it is
so-
very atypical, and it is science fiction-y and not
Right.
like
Yeah.
super Yeah, not typical, but
And normally that's not my genre, but it was
yeah.
good.
So really quickly.
Really quickly,
yeah.
I'm going to do the next bag.
Yeah, do
Hey,
that
I'm
quick.
doing next
Well, I was
bag.
just going to say really quick, but
Okay,
in the
go,
spring
man.
we can look forward to Oprah, Reese, Chris, Mindy, and some of the big names starring in the movie. So that could be really good.
Okay, we're going to do this book. This
At the new
one,
theaters.
The Miracle Morning. This one, getting up really early. It's fantastic. There is a formula to success in life, and I'm doing it. And so I just think it's fantastic. Okay, you wake up early before 8 o'clock, so you read something that's inspirational to you. Then you're going to do a little bit of exercise. Then you're going to do a little bit of meditation. Then you're going to do a little bit of writing. With doing all of that, it focuses your mind on what you want to do for the rest of the day. If you do that every day, you're going to have a very happy life. There, it's called
So
The
have you
Miracle
read the whole
Morning.
book, or are you in the middle of it?
No, middle of it, but it's
Okay.
really good. And I did it before, but
And
now
it's nice
more
and short.
and it's nice and short.
Okay.
It's the first half is about his story and how he came to it.
Okay.
And it's just really easy. Anyway, it's by Hal Elrod, and you'll find him, and he's a really good speaker.
I thought the formula was happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So there you go, right?
There you go. Okay.
I'm excited to read it.
Yeah,
Great
awesome.
choice,
It's really
Natasha.
good.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
good.
very
And it's good for parents to know like what their kids are
Yes.
reading.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if your kids are reading that in school,
You know, it's
4th,
good.
5th graders,
Very
let's
good.
read it along with
Very
them.
good.
It's really good. Yeah.
Great
so-
show today.
Thank
Yes.
you. That was fabulous.
Kind
Some
of
heavy,
deep.
Yeah.
heavier topics,
Oh
but
my gosh,
important
the suicide
topics.
was
Yes.
mind-boggling. I
Those
can't believe
numbers.
this. Yeah, the
Good
statistics.
things to know, though. I mean,
Yeah.
we have to
Yeah.
be aware, and it's all
Absolutely.
very real and
We
all
could
going on around us.
Definitely have them back again in a couple of months and just talk more.
Hey,
Some more information.
And with the holiday season approaching,
Yes.
that sometimes affects us the most.
yeah,
That's right.
definitely.
Exactly.
Great guest. though.
Fabulous. It was good.
Thanks, ladies. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the conversation.